Being positive means that a person is solution focused. Many times scriptures say that. You see, even I've heard religious preachers say that. Rise above the worldly things in life. Good things shouldn't excite you, bad things shouldn't bother you. Become a vegetable. What? Are you a nut?
You feel that passion is overrated?
I like pizzas. I love pizzas. I can't stay without pizzas. And besides, I can't have any amount of pizzas. I can live on pizza. Then pizza is my passion. Do you know? Look at the infiltration that is coming from Bangladesh and Rohingyas from Burma. What is happening? How can 4-5 crore people come into India? How can 4-5 crore people cross any border? Are you looking for compatibility with your people?
Yes, sir. That's
Show me one person in this world who's compatible to another one. Show me, are your parents compatible? I can't live with a cheat and a crook. Sorry, even if my client is a peer to me, he pays me money. I said, thank you, I choose my clients. What I can say is, I got married when I was 23. Love, 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 love. It is love that keeps a relationship. No, it's love, it's not love.
So guys, welcome back to AP Podcast and thank you so much for listening to us. अगर guys मैं बात करूँ आज के podcast की, तो it is something that you should listen if you are a Gen Z like us. Because genuinely this conversation holds so much of value, so much of importance when it comes to issues that we as Gen Z are facing today. Because the guest we are having is somebody who is not only sustaining in today's environment but has been there and has seen it all since maybe हमारे मम्मी पापा के पास से. So today's guest is Mr. Shiv Khera, who is an author, business consultant, and also a very, very successful motivator, and he's known across spectrum. So this podcast consists of a lot of questions, especially related to life, relationships, and even some great philosophies of life. So I genuinely would hope that you guys would listen to this podcast. And with that, AP Podcast starting in 3, 2, 1. First of all, Shiv sir, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for coming on AP Podcast, a platform founded by Gen Z, I would say. And yeah, we really appreciate that you sparing out time out of your busy schedule and coming all the way here. Like hearing stories about you from our fathers, we all have grown up. So yeah, thank you so much for coming here, sir.
Thank you, I'm grateful.
Yeah, sir. So, sir, basically, there could be multiple things with which we can start this conversation, this podcast. And the whole narrative behind starting this podcast was basically to create a platform where people can genuinely talk. They can genuinely have some candid conversation. So, with regards to that, sir, जो पहली चीज़ जहाँ से मैं start करना चाहूँगा, that would be about the current paradigm, that is the Gen Z that is evolving, and Gen Z in connection with the motivational speakers. So you know better than me, you have been in this niche like बहुत time से. So the thing is, sir, आजकल एक अलग type का motivational sphere आ रहा है लोगों का. There have been multiple motivational speakers coming in. People are making profits out of it. Sometimes people are just selling dreams. Some people genuinely care. But one cannot just bifurcate who is good, who is not good. So things like these are happening. And so my basic thing behind putting this all up and asking you one thing would be, sir, how do you think that the motivation is evolving, the genre of motivation is evolving in the current paradigm, and how are you also adapting to it?
Well, I don't need to adapt to what the genre is there outside and what people are doing. Their motivations are different. If they're making profits, nothing wrong with that. Profit is a good word, let me tell you that. Making money is criminal. Earning money is spiritual. What is the difference? When you earn money, you put energy and ethics behind it, and that's the big difference. And sadly today, most people want to make money, very few want to earn it. So when you talk in terms of motivational speakers, if they are genuinely providing value to people, and if they are making a change in people's lives, well, it's great. Good to do it. No, not only that today, but you see, all these gurus, Swamijis, Maharaj, all these, what were they? They were all motivational speakers in one form or the other. People used to come there by the thousands and listen to them. Did they get motivated? Why did they come again and again and again? And the same people became multimillionaires and billionaires, many of them. Now, many of them are frauds. Maybe. How many of them were good? I don't know. In fact, if there were some really good ones, I'm not aware of it. So probably it means there were hardly any good ones. So really it comes down to your own integrity. Are you giving value to people? Is it only a profession or a passion to you? You know what passion is? You would do the same thing for money and same thing for no money. And that is the key. And I personally feel if we can make a change in somebody's life and be a catalyst to it, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's very gratifying. And I've been in this profession for a long time now. And I get phone calls, I get letters that I read your book, changed my life, I attended your program, and that was life-changing. It was a turning point in my life. And many times I get letters that you don't know me. I attended your program 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and there were 5,000 people. I was one of them. Till then, I was doing this. Since then, I'm doing this. Well, and thanks, just a word of thanks. And that is good enough for me. That motivates me to move on and on and on. My wife asked me, when are you going to retire? And I said, this year. And she said, you've been saying the same thing for the last 10 years. But you know, when I get letters like this, there are people who wrote to me, I was planning to commit suicide, read your book, or went through your program, threw all the pills, went away. There's a guy called Anil David in Singapore. He was into money laundering, went into jail for 10 years, came out, read my book, and today he has a business running with 600 employees, and 300 of them are jail inmates. He has taken special permission from the government of Singapore to open up a call center in the jail. And he's got clients like Standard Charter or ANZ Grindlays, one of the top companies in the world. Same thing, a lady in Australia, Nikita Kaur. These are all names that I'm giving you. They are on our website. Their letters are there. And she was planning to commit suicide. She had a marriage which was in trouble. Little daughter went to Australia, started life over again from a scratch. And then she sent a note to me when her daughter graduated from law school, and she says, thanks, Mr. Khera. I was planning to commit suicide when I got your book, and then moved on. So these are things that motivate me. And the most important thing is, in my opinion, anybody who feels they have a right to do what they're doing, if they walk their talk, if they practice their own stuff, if they don't practice it, then that is cheating, dishonesty. To them, it is only a money-making machine, and they are fooling people because they really don't believe in it. And that is where I take objection to it.
So do you feel that motivation in the current age, and also I guess many people do this, especially the creators, that they only tell you the basic things, like, you know, आपको fire up कर देगा एकदम से, like that energy, the instant energy they give you, that you're not doing good in life, why are you not doing good, or you know, these so-called catchy topics, like catchy thumb lines, like, you know, wake up at 5 a.m, this is your calling, and things like that keep going on the internet. So there are people out there who are basically selling these ideas, they are selling this fire. But is it genuinely that fire that we should be going after, or is it the dedication, the junoon that we should be going after?
Well, if you look at it, there was a book written by Tom Peters many, many years ago. It became a bestseller a long time ago. And in case you find out and read the book, you'll find all management principles are basically nothing else but motherhood truths. They're nothing else. And many times, many of the things that you hear from motivational speakers, you probably heard them before. Our mothers taught us when we were 4 years old. You're talking of wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock. Well, how many, we all know it, how many do it? That's the big question. So many times in life, we need reminders. And besides, that is why it is said, repetition is the mother of learning. So many times in life, we all need reminders, not only people who are viewing us, but even motivational speakers themselves need it. The people ask me many times, Mr. Khera, do you get demotivated? I said, yes. And when I get demotivated, what do? I read my book. And besides, not only that, because every night when I go to sleep, I listen to half an hour, 1 hour of some motivational tapes. When I wake up in the morning, I do the same thing. There was a time I used to read about 30, 40 books a year. It's gone down. My own habit has gone down. Right now, probably I read 10, 15 books a year. Now, I'm planning to go back to books, but that is one area. It helps me to stay motivated. And most important thing is, just like our bodies need food every day, our minds need positive thoughts every day. See, if we don't feed our mind with positive thoughts, we slip backwards. See, you seem to be like an athlete. Now tell me, when you stop practicing, when you stop running, stop jogging, or stop weightlifting, what happens to your muscles? What happens to your stamina? Does it stay the same or go down?
It will go down.
It go down. Same thing with our mind. See, if we don't feed our mind with positive thoughts, it starts slipping backwards. See, just like our bodies need food every day, they don't need just food, they need good food. And if you don't feed good food, and if you feed junk food, what will happen? You'll fall sick physically. Similarly, if we don't feed positive thoughts, we become mentally sick.
But sir, when people do this, they also end up getting involved in toxic positivity. That is seeing everything, every outcome of life as positive. But either they should be negative because life is always not good, life is bad. But they end up seeing life, like that particular decision or that particular thing, that particular incident in their life as like, it's good, it's okay. But that time they should be practical. They should think about it also in negative terms.
Well, being positive does not mean they're stupid. And being positive does not mean you are running away from reality. That doesn't mean that at all. Being positive means that a person is solution focused, not problem focused. There are many people in this world who are totally problem focused. You know what that means? You give them a solution, they'll give you a problem. You give them a solution, they give you a problem. They have a problem for every solution. Henry Ford said, kick them out. Kick them out. We're not stupid. We understand there are problems in life, but we need somebody who is solution focused. Now, being optimistic does not mean that you stop looking at reality. It only means stop thinking negatively. Now, there are things you can change, there are things you can't change. Now, what you cannot change, you accept it. And accept it graciously, not grudgingly. Because if you keep fighting the things you just cannot change, what happens? You bring stress into your life, you become paralyzed, you become unproductive. Does that make sense? Answer is no. Just like I can't change my parents. I didn't decide where I was going to be born. I didn't choose my parents. There are many things beyond us. So, and many times we keep fighting the things we just cannot change, and we bring stress into our lives. So if we cannot change, let me accept it. Graciously, not grudgingly. And if I can change, then have the courage to do it. And wisdom to know the difference, what you can and what you cannot. And that is the key. So I would stay away from the word, why not think negatively? No. Look at it realistically. Life does not always go up. We fail too. Go check out all success stories are stories of great failures. But then what they did, when they failed forward. They didn't fail backwards. You know what that means? They learned from the failure and moved forward. They did not consider failing as failure. I failed, but that does not mean I'm a failure. I might have been fooled, but that does not mean I'm a fool. See, there is a difference here. And yes, many times we get into a cycle. You heard the phrase which says, success breeds success and failure breeds failure. That is true. Because when a person succeeds, the self-esteem goes up. Self-esteem goes up, easy to succeed again. You succeed, self-esteem goes up. You succeed, self-esteem goes up further. And your self-esteem goes up, easy to succeed again. And you fail, self-esteem goes down, easy to fail again. What is the purpose? To break the failure chain and get into the success chain. And my only one contention is that sadly today, as parents and teachers, we're teaching only two words to our kids. And one is success and win, success and win, and success and win. We never taught our kids how to fail and how to lose. And failing and losing is part of life. And since they have never learned how to fail or lose, when failure comes in, they get so depressed. They go into deep depressions, they commit suicide. This is what goes on. So we need to teach everybody, our people around us, that life goes up and down. It is not one way only. And we need to be able to understand how to handle both.
Do you feel that, sir, like there is this particular term in philosophy that is called stoicism, that is being neutral? Like neither you are happy about what's good happening, neither you are sad about what's not good happening in your life. You are just completely neutral. So do you feel that is something that one should implement to their lives?
Well, many times scriptures say that. You see, even I've heard religious preachers say that. Rise above the worldly things in life. Good things shouldn't excite you. Bad things shouldn't bother you. Become a vegetable. What? Are you a nut? What have you become? Are you emotionless? This is ridiculous. Yeah, you see, rise above. Attain a state of bliss. You think nothing should bother you. Good things shouldn't excite you. And you have become a vegetable. Is that what you want to be? Well, the answer is no. See, which is what they say, attain a state of bliss. Look, injustice is happening to your neighbor, and you are in a state of bliss. Wait for your turn, you are next. Your neighbor is being beaten up unjustifiably, you are in a state of bliss. Nothing bothers you, nothing excites you. What are you? This is inhuman. This is cold-blooded. These are dangerous people.
The Stoics, the people who
This
follow
is what
stoicism.
we're talking of. Total being cold-blooded, indifferent people. They're dangerous people. Emotionless people. It doesn't make any sense. And yet, at the same time, we need to understand what the correct emotions are. Now, the question is there something called right and wrong emotions? Answer is yes. There is something called right and wrong. Unlike people who say nothing is right or wrong, your thinking makes it so. Shakespeare said that. But I don't agree with that. There is something called right and wrong and good or bad.
Sir, but isn't attachment something which is basically cause of all the misery in the world? People get attached to positions, fame, money, and then they end up, going after it throughout their lives.
No. You see, when we talk of detachment, what is the purpose of detachment? Detachment gives you objectivity. So, when you take decisions in life, there's a beautiful book which is called Vedanta by Parthasarthi. It talks about this. You see, when we talk of rise above the worldly things in life, does not mean become indifferent. People have got the wrong message. People have got the wrong message. You can't be indifferent. That is cold-blooded. And second thing is detachment. Detachment, why should you have detachment? Detachment gives you objectivity. When you take decisions looking at it as an objective person, your decision-making process changes. When we are subjective, then obviously we're biased. That is the difference between the two, and that is what, to me, makes sense.
And also, sir, with this, do you feel that passion is overrated? Is it something that people have been selling for a long time, that have that passion, passion, and find that passion? Like from our childhood only, we are taught this, that go and find that passion, go for multiple things. But isn't it that passion is something which is basically overrated, and it is the skill set that one just acquire and they just go into that field?
Yeah, well, what is passion, by the way? Passion is an emotion. Do you realize that? Passion is an emotion. And I've addressed the IITians and IIMs many places, and invariably when they do interviews like you are doing with me right now, and they say, well, everybody tells us, follow your passion, follow your passion, follow your passion. You know how they're following passion? One guy says to me, sir, I like pizzas, I love pizzas, I can't stay without pizzas. And besides, I can't have any amount of pizzas. I can live on pizza. Then pizza is my passion. Let me open up pizzeria. And they take money from the dad, open up pizzeria. The guy doesn't know how the damn to run the pizzeria, and he fails after that. And they say, what happened to your passion? You see, 1 out of 20 businesses succeed and 19 out of 20 businesses fail. This is a startup. So we need to understand that passion, again, I repeat, is something that I would do for money and I would do for no money. That is something it comes from within, you feel like doing it. And you feel internally gratified. It is not only profit, and then profit becomes a byproduct. Let me share with you an example. I shared in my book, You Can Win or You Can Achieve More. About 50 years ago, there was a young boy. He had a little brother, 6-year-old, who fell sick, and sick real bad. So they called a doctor who was a family friend and asked him to stay overnight because that was a crucial night. Next day morning, the parents opened the door and they asked the doctor, is our son going to live? The doctor said, not only is your son going to live, but he's going to live a good life. He's out of danger. And he said, the moment the doctor finished the last words, he's out of danger, I saw a smile of relief on my parents' faces. I was 10 years old, standing in the corner. And he said, when I saw the smile of relief on my parents' faces, that's the time I made up my mind. I'll be a medical doctor who puts smiles on people's faces. 10-year-old boy, he said, I will become a medical doctor who puts smiles on people's faces. Folks, when you go into a profession with service in mind, money comes so fast you can't even count. I've seen that in enough people's lives, in my own life. But when you go into a profession only to make a buck and not to serve, it never comes.
So, but
And if it comes, hear this, if it comes, it is short-lived. And if it is not short-lived, it gets you no goodwill. Let me ask you, you got all the money in the world and no goodwill, is it worth having? So we need to understand, where are we? What are we doing?
Sir, but isn't it fascination which basically is happening? Like the example of the boy you were giving, he was fascinated by a thing, but
He was fascinated by what?
the doctor thing that he saw,
No,
that
he was not.
like he was fascinated that he could put a smile on someone's face if he could be a doctor.
No. You see, why do some people get fascinated with seeing another person happy? Why do some people get fascinated with sadistic behavior, robbing people from home and creating problems for them? Why do people there are sadistic people who feel good when they trouble you, when they rob you. They feel good. They still feel good. But now that's their passion. What is it? See, this depends on what? Our values. This depends on our value. Where happiness is important. You keep hearing parents saying, do what makes you happy, do what makes you happy, do what makes you happy. Oh, another one, do what feels good, do what feels good, do what feels good. You see, the way we come from the old school, which says feeling good is a natural outcome of doing good. How can you feel good when you don't do good? You see, feeling good is a natural outcome of doing good. And if you are good, you do good, you feel good. How can you feel good when you do bad? Now, question is there something called good and bad? Answer is yes. And that depends on what? Your values. How do you clarify values? It's easy, not difficult. You know how do you do it?
The what, sir? The
How
values?
do you clarify values?
Please tell, sir.
Are you aware that every doctor, when they graduate, they have to take an oath of Hippocrates? Are you aware of
Yes,
that?
I'm aware
Okay.
of that.
Who gave that oath? Hippocrates. When was it given? 2,000 years ago. Have you ever read that oath? If you have not read it, go read it. It is less than 6 lines. And if you read it carefully, do you need any more values than that one? Answer is no. You know what it says? It says you put your patient's interest above your own. And that's about it. How many doctors are doing it?
Very few.
Very few. Same thing, lawyer, when they graduate, there's a code of conduct. They take an oath. How long is that oath? 1 year pages, 1 or 2 pages. That's it. And tell me, what are the lawyers doing today? They get one of their clients and they churn them together, keep taking dates, and they squeeze them out. That's what the legal profession is today. Same thing, any other profession where you go. So you need to understand, is there something called right and wrong values? Answer is yes. You see, every judge, when they take position, they have to take an oath. How long is that oath? 5 lines. IAS officer, IPS officer, every member of parliament. When they take position, they have to take an oath. How long is that oath? You've seen oath ceremonies in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Haven't you seen that in President House? Of course.
Yes.
Is it a 1 hour event for one person? No, it's only less than 2 minutes per person, and the oath is over. That's it. So clarifying values is not that difficult. You see, what is difficult is to face up to them after clarifying, so we choose not to clarify. So stay confused. You don't have the guts to face up. So it's escapist behavior, that's all.
So is it the temptation that people seek when, even after, like you said, there are people out there who are taking oaths? There could be civil servants taking oaths, doctors taking oaths.
Right.
So is it the temptation that is because they are running after things that they should not do ethically?
No, it is not temptation. It is lack of integrity, dishonesty, corruption, greed. Very simple. We don't mince words. It is outright, there is dishonesty, corruption, lack of integrity. And that's it. Why are they doing all this stuff? You think they don't know what's right and wrong? Of course they know it. And they realize that. But they still do it wrong because what? It is their greed that is doing it. So because their values are messed up, and that's why they keep doing all these things. Do you know, look at the infiltration that is coming from Bangladesh and Rohingyas from Burma. What is happening? How can 4-5 crore people come into India? How can 4-5 crore people cross any border without paying people on the border? They pay them and they come in. Is that happening any other country? Can that happen? Will that happen? It shouldn't happen. What is it? Are you not creating a security issue for yourself? Is this not a security risk? Which country will allow 5 crore people to walk in like this? Hello? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Yeah.
No country will allow. That's
So
true.
is this not a security risk? Of course. And what is it? They don't know? Of course they know it. They're corrupt. They sell their mother for money. English language. They sell their mother for money. What is it? Greed?
What is it really then, sir? Is it
I
greed?
just said greed.
Greed or temptation?
Look, honesty is not absence of temptation, it is overcoming temptation. Show me a person who does not have temptation. Everybody with integrity, they have temptation. Honesty is not absence of temptation, it is overcoming temptation. Courage is not absence of fear, it is overcoming fear. People who go and fight, you think they don't have fear in their system? Of course they do. But they overcome it and they fight. They still fight. So it is overcoming fear. Same thing, it is overcoming temptation. We all have it. We're human. But then either you give in to corruption and then say, well, then you can't claim it yourself as an honest person. Or stay with integrity and go through the consequences. That's all.
Do you feel, sir, that one should live a minimalistic approach, with a minimalistic approach towards life, as in having less expectations about things in their life?
Well, why should I live with a minimalistic approach by myself? I mean, why shouldn't I expect that my behavior ought to be better? First of all, let me clarify. I don't know of any human being who's 24 karat pure. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not 24 karat pure, and I don't know of any human being who is. But would you agree with me? There's a big difference between 8 karat and 22 karat.
Yes, there is.
Yes. And am I happy to remain 22 karat? No. You keep striving to move forward. And that's the whole idea. So I don't know of any perfect person. This is a process as we go along of improving ourselves, our conscience, integrity levels as you go.
And so, what are your thoughts on spiritual beliefs? What sort of spiritual beliefs you implement in your life, sir?
My spiritual belief is I look at there are certain principles in life, such as integrity, you see, respect, responsibility. These are three core values for anybody there. Integrity, respect, responsibility. Three core values. And rest, if there are any other values, then they're supporting values to these core values. Now, you just asked the word spiritual. Do you know what spirituality means?
Connecting with yourself.
Well, the dictionary meaning of being spiritual is anything that lifts your spirit is called spiritual. Now, what lifts your spirit? If something doing good, which I said, is there something called good and bad? Answer is yes. See, when people say values are subjective, they keep changing from person to person, situation to situation. Have you heard that? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then they have no values. They have no values if they keep changing from person to person or situation to situation. Now, we are talking, whenever we talk of values, we're not talking of your or my values. We're talking of universal values and eternal values. Universal means they cross country, cross culture, cross religion. That's called universal. Eternal means they were here before we came and they will be here after we are gone. That's called eternal. And now, let me share with you when people say nothing is right or wrong, your thinking makes it so. If that, and values are subjective in that case, then every criminal in this world should be released from the jail. Who says they're wrong? You say they're wrong, they didn't think so. Go keep arguing. If there are no rights and wrongs, everything is subjective, then Hitler was totally right. Who says he was wrong? You say he was wrong, he didn't think so. Go keep arguing. Now, question is, how do you find out universal values? I'll share with you one little story. How do we establish? See, whatever profession you are in, including the recording that you're doing right now, don't you have some quality standards? If we didn't have it, your recording would be a mess. You have some quality standards, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Similarly, in values and ethics, unless you have universal standards, how can you achieve them? You can't. Let me share with you how you establish them. There was an elderly lady with 2 bags of groceries in her hand waiting for a bus. Right behind her was a big boy also waiting for a bus. The bus came. They both got on the platform. The bus was totally packed. There was only one seat available at the far end. And the lady started moving to get that seat. This big boy came from behind, threw his big arm around the lady, took a big step, and he took that seat. This lady fell in the bus. Bags of groceries got scattered. She was lying totally helpless. Now, there were many passengers in the bus. One of them was a sophisticated lady. She started thinking how clumsy of this boy. She's looking at the etiquette manners. There's a lawyer in the bus who thinks there must be a law against this kind of behavior. He's looking from a legal perspective. There's a surgeon in the bus who thinks this lady must have broken 3 ribs. He is looking from a surgical perspective. And there's a psychiatrist who thinks this boy is psychotic, needs mental help. Look at this. 4 people thinking 4 different ways. Etiquette, legality, surgically, mentally. Not one of them asked this question. Was this behavior right or wrong? Why don't we ask that question? Because when we ask that question, we become judgmental. Now let me ask you, if your values are clear, what's wrong in being judgmental? Now let me ask you 2 questions. One, Should this boy have behaved like this with this lady? Yes, no.
No.
2. Should anyone behave like this with anybody? The moment you answer no to the second question. Should anyone behave like this with anybody? That means that's universal. Look, clarifying value is not that difficult. Facing up to clarifying, after clarifying, is the tough one. So we choose to remain coward and stay escapist. We don't have the guts to face up.
But sir, how do we set those values when there are multiple things around us, especially in this age when everything is just a reel away or just a YouTube short away? We just keep scrolling and scrolling. There is too much of info. In this world, how do we set our values and we stick to them?
I do these programs in 20 odd countries. Many times people ask me, Mr. Khera, don't you find cultural differences? You know what? I find more similarities than differences. And let me share with you what the differences are. To me, they are only surface issues. Now, they may not end up as surface issues, but to me, they're totally surface issues. Example, the thumbs up sign in the Western world is what? Sign of victory. You're on track. Encouragement. Keep going. Now, the thumbs up sign in the Middle East, you showed me your thumb, you insulted me. Now, this is cultural. In India, we worship the snake and the rat. That is cultural. In Singapore, China, number 4 is considered unlucky. Death, that's cultural. But you know something? Integrity and cheating is given the same meaning in New York, New Delhi, New Zealand. No difference. I've never seen any difference. So you know something? We choose to justify the values that we want to live with. We want to live with a mess, you justify that stuff. You want to practice something integrity, the definitions are very clear. So it's not confusing at all.
And how do you keep yourself at peace? Like, since you yourself said, like, you're involved in so many things, you have to go to so many countries, you have to meet multiple people, and everyone just cannot give that good vibe or the same vibe that you have. So you have to meet multiple faces, multiple personalities. Amidst those things, amidst those personalities, how do you keep yourself at peace and you don't lose yourself?
Well, let me ask you, every person you meet, based on their personality, do you keep changing your personality with that, based on that? Are you an actor? Are you a Bollywood guy? What are you? See, the point is, you have to take charge of your own life. And the people you gel with, your values match, those are your company people, those are your friends. Keep in mind, you don't get friends in life the kind of people you want. We get friends in life the kind of people we are. That is true. Go check it out anywhere in the world. And people who don't gel, if you can convince them and work it out together, do it. Otherwise, pack up and say goodbye, thank you. Hello. That's it. Why do you have to put up with that? I don't have to put up with it.
Yeah.
See, in our office, let me explain to you.
Yeah.
In our conference room, nobody's allowed to bring their mobiles in our conference room. We had a member of parliament the other day. He said, "Can I bring my mobile?" I said, "No, sir." I don't, including me, I don't keep my mobile in my conference room when I have visitors right there. Why? Let me ask you, if I keep fiddling with my mobile, you come into my office, is it courteous to you then?
No, it's not.
No. So that means I'm wasting your time, am I not, if I'm fiddling with my mobile while you're sitting here? So I will not waste your time, but I will not let you waste my time either. You keep your mobile out too.
Yeah.
So very simple, very clear. So people who mean business, you stick by them and you work with them. You have your values at the same time, evaluate. We talked of universal and eternal values. It is easy to clarify. But you know, many people have double standards. While they're giving values to others, they talk different language. When they are on the receiving end, they say, "Ah, foul! Damn it, you were doing the same thing yesterday to somebody else. That time it was not foul." Just because now you're on the receiving end, say, "Oh, sorry, your game has changed." They are crooked people. Keep in mind, that's crookedness.
And sir, still, you might be saying this from your perspective, but I'm not able to get this, that still if there are multiple people that I have to meet, even though I don't want to meet them, but might be due to a professional commitment or due to a personal commitment, even in our families, we have to meet these toxic people sometimes.
Okay.
So how do we address that? How we keep ourselves, that integrated, that we don't lose ourselves?
Well, can you give me an example exactly what you mean?
As in, sir, if let's say I'm working with a client and I'm working with this person professionally, I'm involved with this person professionally, but I just cannot avoid this person, though I try my best.
Why
But
would
I
you
can,
want to avoid, first of all?
because there might be some vibe exchange that's not happening good. There might be some things that I don't like about that person.
Such as?
Could be multiple things, sir. There are
Such
certain
as?
things. So there could be multiple things, just like I said, some things that, subconsciously bothers you. There might be a particular behavior of that person's that bothers you.
Are you looking for compatibility with your people?
Yes, sir, that's
Show
right.
me one person in this world who's compatible to another one. Show me, are your parents compatible? You see, there is no compatible couple in this world. You see, it is not compatibility that keeps a relationship going. It is our ability to live with the incompatibilities in life that keeps a relationship going. Now, let me clarify this. Values must be compatible. I can't live with a cheat and a crook. Sorry, even if my client is a peer to me, he pays me money. I said, thank you. I choose my clients. Go to other consultants who will do all this stuff for you for money. I will not do it. Okay? So we need to make some choices. So when you say, well, I'm dealing with somebody, I have to deal with somebody, why did you have to deal with them? Well, unless you are religious, we teach sales training. And there are many people in sales, they tell lies, they cheat. Of course they do. So question is, most important thing we need to understand, we sell products, we sell services, we sell a professional time, but we don't sell a conscience. But there are people, that's what they're doing. So if it doesn't match my values, I'll say goodbye. That's it.
And sir, in the modern time, the relationships that we are having are very complex also. Like you were talking about compatibility earlier in the conversation. So just to pitch that in here, like we live in a paradigm where things like open marriages, things like monopoly or polygamy or things like these are coming. So when things like these are happening, what do you feel about the modern day, what sort of dating or relationship things that's happening with people?
Well, you just mentioned about live-in relationships. You talked of polygamy just now.
Yes, sir.
You talked about these. Well, let me share with you. I'm writing my next book on relationship. And I've done some research. In the Western world, about 200 years ago, there was no concept of love marriage. Pretty much, most marriages were arranged marriages 200 to 300 years ago. That means the marriage came first and love came after. And granted, some of them might have had problems, but they lasted. But today in the Western world, almost 100% of marriages are so-called love marriages. And there's 60-70% divorce rate. California, 90% divorce rate. So what they have done, that means love comes first, marriage comes later. So now they've come up with a midway, which, as you said, live-in relationships. You just said that. Now, you ask them, the purpose of live-in is checking compatibility. And 3, 4, 5 years, they keep checking compatibility every day. And then after 5 years, they get married. 2.5 hours later, they have a divorce. What the hell did you check? Show me one compatible couple in this world. Are your parents compatible? There's no compatibility. Other than values, nothing is compatible. It's all adjustment. Now, important thing is, what is missing is the commitment part. Commitments are missing. So, most important thing is, we need to understand how committed are we. And that's about it. And now, in the Western world, what do? They get remarried. And then only to find that the new spouse doesn't have the problem of the old one, but this one has another set of problems. You traded problems. You fire an employee, hire a new one. What do you find? New one doesn't have the problem of the old one, but this one has another set of problems. You traded problems. So this is one part we need to understand. Values match versus adjustment. Okay?
Yeah.
Now why did you bring the point of polygamy?
Polygamy, as in, sir, like not only polygamy, even open marriages.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Open marriages I covered.
Yeah.
But talk about polygamy. Why do you bring that up?
Multiple people are being involved.
Yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
is it good, bad?
So that's what I'm asking you, so
No,
basically.
no. You're the one, you have certain religious faiths. Go ahead, you tell me.
I don't have any religious faiths attached with it, specifically to this particular term.
No, but even in Muslim countries, many countries have stopped polygamy. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Even including Pakistan.
Yeah.
They don't love polygamy. Many places not polygamy there. So one has to understand how can you do justice? Can you do justice? And so on. So those are things that there are multiple things in countries like UK, US, Canada. Polygamy is not allowed. It's not legal at all. So there are many countries where they don't permit polygamy. And there's no issue with that. That's okay. And they are uniform civil codes and so on. So people practice that. Similarly, I just came to know even in Pakistan, I believe there's a minimum marriageable age of 18 for girls. So why should we not have a minimum marriageable age for everybody? We should have it. Why not? Can you get married below the age of 21? If you are a Hindu, you can't get married below the age of 21. So what's wrong? Why should we not have a uniform marriageable age? So there are some things that are good. We need to do it.
Yeah, I understand that, sir. Also about the compatibility thing that you were telling, what's basically that one should look when they are looking for a partner? This compatibility thing you are telling. One is the attachment, then comes the love, then comes the feelings, and everything you want to do for that partner. But where does the compatibility factor pitch in?
You know, I've seen people today, when they are about to get married, they look at 5 options and they have an Excel sheet and they do analysis of those bases. I've seen that with the Excel sheets. Interesting. I don't understand how you do that. All I can say is I got married when I was 23. And sometimes people ask me, wasn't that a little too early in life? And I tell them that if I had a rewind button in my life, I'd probably get married 3 years earlier to the same lady. Now, have we had ups and downs? The answer is yes. And many things changed, many things got messed up. But you see, we fought each other, but our commitment to stay together was stronger than the fight. I repeat, the commitment to stay together was stronger than the fight. And that's why you stick. So, this little thing that we keep talking about, love, it is love that keeps a relationship. No, it's love, it's not love. It is understanding and caring for one another. Understand. It is not love. It is understanding and being caring for one another. It's what keeps a relationship going. Understanding and caring. So we need to understand what the real things are. That physical infatuation dies out after some time. And that's true with everywhere. So we need to understand what keeps a relationship going. And that is not only true with husband, wife, even parent, child, even colleagues in the offices, employers, employees, everywhere. Even siblings between themselves. They fight, don't they? Of course they do. Again, we need to come back to what? Empathy, understanding, caring. And those are, again, universal values. I repeat in English language, they are universal values.
So do you feel that the relationships that we are having nowadays, romantically I'm talking, they are breaking up or they are not happening in a good way because people don't want to settle down? Because there are too many options. You open your phone, you go to a matrimonial website or a dating site, you'll find multiple people out there.
Right.
So do you feel that because of too much of options that people don't want to settle down?
Well, the only thing is, one is, again, it comes down to values. And two, today it's become a me generation. Me, to hell with you. And for the slightest thing, to hell with you. They pack up and leave. They are not willing to work out together. They've forgotten the word we. Me doesn't work. We works. That is true in offices as a teamwork. That is true in a family, because a family is also a team. And for that matter, a cricket team or a football team, it's a we. Me doesn't work. You tell me one thing. Whatever we are talking here, are you hearing for the first time? I don't think so. You probably heard a million times. But how many of us are doing it?
Very few.
Okay, that's the key. And those are the few who do well in life. The rest, they keep struggling all their life. And good luck to them. Let them keep struggling. They deserve the struggle. Yeah?
Yeah.
And if they fail, good luck. They deserve the failing too.
Yeah, sir.
I have no sympathy for them.
And now finally, sir, moving towards the end of the conversation, the only thing that I would like to ask you here is, you have written this book that you can win. But just like I was earlier saying this out loud in the conversation, that there are things that, life can not be always positive. It is going to be negative. It is going to be bad.
Ups and downs.
Yeah.
Ups and downs. It is not negative is the word. You see, negative is only becoming a problem-focused person. You are pessimist. You see, you feel only good when there is darkness. That's all. You see, and if everything is running good, you say something must be wrong. Because everything is good, something must be wrong. That's a pessimistic guy.
So with regards to this only, sir, I was going to ask that, should people ask before jumping into a big goal, big dream, anything big, that why can't you win? Should people ask that genuine, realistic question to themselves?
Well, it is not only why can't you win. Do you know one thing? Everybody wants to win. Show me one person who doesn't want to win or succeed. But question is, are they willing to pay the price to prepare to win? Let me share with you what I mean in English language. You see, are you aware that Michael Phelps, swimmer, won 8 gold medals at Beijing? Yeah. He practiced 10,000 hours in 4 years before he went to the Olympics. 10,000 hours in 4 years. That translates into close to 8 hours per day, no Sunday. And when he won the 8 gold medals, people said, must be a lucky day. He didn't like it. He said, you come here, I'll tell you how lucky I got. And he said, I've trained 10,000 hours in 4 years. And he said, you go sit in the water for 8 hours every day for the next 4 years, your body will shrivel. And he asked, did I get lucky? He said, athletes train 15 years for 15 seconds of performance. Go ask them, did they get lucky? You heard the name Bruce Lee? He was a legend in martial art. Are you aware that Bruce Lee's one leg was shorter than the other by 1 inch? Probably most people are not aware. Bruce Lee's eyesight was -10. He couldn't see his opponent without lenses. He practiced 5,000 punches per day. Tell me how many people are willing to practice 5,000 punches per day in spite of one leg 1 inch shorter? How many people are doing it? Am I willing to do it? Are you willing to do it? Probably not. You know something? If you and I are willing to practice, and we do practice, you and I could be legends like Bruce Lee. And besides, Michael Phelps practiced 8 hours per day for 4 years straight. 8 hours per day, no Sunday. Are you and I willing to practice 8 hours per day for 4 years, 10,000 hours? If you and I are willing to do it, do you know we can compete at the Olympics too? But we're not willing to do it. See, most people want to succeed in life, but very few people are willing to pay the price to prepare to succeed. This is called preparation. And that's the key.
So should people then ask this question again? I'm asking the question, why can't you win, before they jump into?
Are you willing to pay the price to prepare to succeed?
That should be the question.
Of course.
Yeah.
Shouldn't?
Yeah,
Shouldn't
it should be.
That's right.
Yeah. So I guess that was also all from my side, sir.
All right.
I happened to really enjoy this conversation. There were multiple things that I got to know for the first time, honestly. Like, there were not only things that I had heard before, but there were things that I heard for the first time. And it was genuinely very awesome to hear them, and would really try to implement them. And I hope our audience also does the same. Thank you so much for being with us,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.